All right, well, today was the final check-in. There was no therapy treatment done today. The therapy was done in 2 days, and this was day 3 of just a check-in with the doctor. Lots of education. I spent a little over an hour with Dr. Zhao today, and so I'm going to get a little nerdy on you. I'm not a scientist, but I'm going to try to explain as much as I can what he was explaining to us today. And I think it's pretty exciting. So first of all, he showed us this, these are the markers. And at a later time, I'm going to probably do some graphic design with some more, a view that might be a little bit easier to read as a viewer. But I just want to give you a quick overview. The color difference here, these are 2 different types of really important cells. One is the CD8 and CD14, which are super, super important in stem cell regeneration. And the blue is where I was at before, where those cells were at before the education therapy. And the orange shows the decrease in inflammation in 17 hours. So we ended our therapy yesterday at 2:15. And Dr. Zhao probably got started in the lab around 3. He worked till about 11. And then the stem cells sat overnight in the Educator. In his patented machine, which is this Educator, stem cell Educator, and after 17 hours, that was how much the inflammation had decreased. So he was very encouraged with that. That was an above average decrease in inflammation, so he was very excited about that. He also went through a number of supplements he wants me to be on. So we've got vitamin B2, gave all the reasons why that's so great. Vitamin D3, he said if I'm in the sun for 20 minutes a day, I don't need to do that because the sun's vitamin D3 is way better. And I said yes. I was actually the one who told him, I was like, don't worry, I don't need to take that. I'll be in the sun at least 20 minutes a day. And he's like, yeah, that's the best vitamin D3 to get. So with no sunscreen. And then this is another ZMA. It's got zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6, and he, of course, explained all the ways that those help stem cell regeneration. And then he also is having me try out a new dietary supplement called GABA, and I'll get into all more of the benefits and details on that later. But this is something new he hasn't tried with patients before. And he's hoping that will also help just balance stress. Stress is a huge factor that can limit improvement. So, and I struggle with sleep insomnia. We talked a little bit about that. He doesn't want me to take anything. I don't usually take sleeping pills or tiring pills. For a time I took it was a sleeping pill with like a Benadryl ingredient in it. He doesn't want me taking any of that. So melatonin, which has never worked for me, but I can try it again. But he's hoping that this GABA might, and it's got some other things that I don't remember right now that can help me. So, but one of the most exciting and interesting and totally nerdy scientific things was this whole chart, which you're not going to be able to see clearly, but specifically he just showed ups and downs. Those up and down arrows are specific markers that he wants to see improve or go down the next time I do a blood test. So every 3 months or so, he's going to be having me send him blood work, and so he'll test, compare the markers that I have based on this week with the markers that I will have in the next time period. I think the plan is every 3 months typically. He did offer me cell infusion therapy. It normally costs an additional $10,000. So the procedure is all $30,000. The stem cell infusion is usually an additional $10,000, and he's not going to charge me that. If I can come back in 2 or 3 weeks, he kept a collection of my cells, and he's culturing them. So he's treating them with the best love and care possible. The word that comes to mind for me is fertilizing, but that's not the right word. But he's nurturing them and taking care of them as best as possible, and then he can refuse. So he kept my educated cells, and he's going to culture them so they're even stronger, and then he will can infuse those in my body within 2 or 3 weeks. It takes him 2 weeks to know how valuable or how healthy those cultured cells are, and then if he thinks it's a good move, then if I fly up again, he'll do that procedure for free, which I'm very, very thankful for. And then, so yeah, there's a lot more I want to share about this later. Very specific markers of that he wants us to see go up or down as a result of progression. And there's this. I'll just leave this with you. There's a batch of cells that are called immune memory cells, and he basically can tell how healthy you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or how aged you are, how much trauma you've gone through based on those numbers. And he said that I have my immune memory cells are like those of a 70 or 80-year-old lady. And of course I teared up a little bit, and I said, yeah, I've gone through a lot of really hard things in my life. And then we had a whole conversation just about God renewing and restoring, and for those of you who know my family and know our family's story, and a lot of the sadness that and just hardship we've had to deal with, you know how much God has redeemed. And so he's redeemed in my life personally, and my family's life, my husband's life, my kids' lives, my extended family's lives, on both sides of our families. And so I'm so thankful for the health that God's given me to this point, and this is just another opportunity to keep digging deeper into relationship and love with Jesus. And of course, Dr. Zhao is very shepherding in his medicine, and so he gave all kinds of analogies. But the one he has, the verse he has on his wall in his office is, "I'm the vine and you're the branches." And there's so much of that is just like we're connected to Jesus for mental and emotional and spiritual health, and when we're disconnected from him, we die. That's how stem cells work. That is our life. And so he's just a blessing. I've got lots of video footage of him, which I was actually surprised that he let me take. I have even more audio recordings. I'm going to be very discreet in how I share those. I need some time to kind of sort through that information. His patent is his stem cell educator machine that he's made. He has several other patents as well, though, so I want to be cautious and careful in what I share, and make sure that I run those pieces that have more of his teaching and instruction and training through him, so that he's okay with what I share. But anyway, it's been a great experience. Today I did have my first meal without a pre-meal bolus. My sugars are going to run high. I usually always take your bolus insulin before you eat, and this time I ate with. He wants me to moving forward. He wants me to check 2 hours after I eat, see where I'm at, how my body has taken care of the sugar intake, and then because all you eat turns into glucose, which is sugar, and then bolus after that. So I'm getting a little too nerdy, a little bit too much. I am gonna do, for those of you who are type 1 or type 2 diabetics, I'm gonna share a lot of the real details about just the insulin therapy part, the food intake, all that stuff, and I'm excited about it. So the journey right now is really just starting. There, in terms of expected progress or results, we could see those in weeks, we could see them in months. One of his, a young girl, I think she was an 8-year-old girl, she didn't have significant progress until the 2-year mark. She had some progress, but not significant progress. And after 2 years, she was completely healed. So, so there's not every body responds differently. It's a very evolving and groundbreaking science. So there's a lot that Dr. Zhao is still learning, but it's exciting to be a part of. So lots of fun stuff to share with you in the next few weeks and months. Thanks for all your prayers, for your love, for your support. My daughter Megan's going to join us tonight, and we're going to spend tomorrow in New York. I lived there for about 10 months or 9 months when I graduated from college, and Megan's never seen the city, so we're going to have lots of fun exploring tomorrow, and then we'll head home Saturday. But Mom's been an amazing travel companion and partners during our sessions, and It's just been a really awesome time. So thank you for your prayer support, and we love you and appreciate you. Have an awesome day.